NIC, legislature for one. Direct and indirect elections. Go ahead, Travis.
Right.
You've got it next, but you have it now.
Direct elections where you, like the presidential elections, you go like directly for your president or something like that. And then indirect elections like the parliament systems when they vote for the party and then the party goes and sets a...
Okay, say that again. A direct election is what?
When you vote directly for your certain official, like, you know... You,
When you vote directly for your president is what you say.
Yeah, when you're a president, you're a certain official, whoever you're running for.
What president?
The U.S. president or...
-1. Go, Trevor. Your group's got it. Your group's got it. Anybody can go. Direct election.
When you vote for the electoral college?
A direct election is when you vote through the electoral college.
I mean, yeah, kind of.
-1. Who was next?
Over here.
Go ahead.
Direct election is when you directly vote for an individual, such as the President of France.
The president of France, +2. Keep going.
Indirect elections is when you vote for a party, or like in the parliamentary system, when you would vote for a specific party, and they would choose who represents you.
Isn't that what Travis said?
Or
No, it's not. That's not what he said at all.
another indirect election is the Electoral College of the United States, where you vote and you get, like, say, you know, each state gets X amount of electoral college votes, and whichever state wins that, the party picks the electors, and they then cast their vote.
Give them +3. Do tick marks. It's easier to keep up with it that way. You know what I'm talking about, tick marks? Okay, direct election. What did Travis say? Travis said directly voting for the president. Okay, in fairness, if you would have said the president of France, you would have had it, but you didn't say that. That's why it's -1. The French president is directly elected, the only one that we've talked about that is in these different systems. Direct election, when you vote directly for the elected official, so for example, voting for a member of Congress, for instance. Indirect, you are voting for a party, and when you vote for the party will ultimately select. So it could be a member of parliament, it could be the American president, it could be a prime minister. Nick, actually, let's just go to the next one on here, since it's legislature for 2 and it's already blackened. First NIC, fusion and separation of powers. Go, Colette. And then you're next, Joel.
Fusion of power would be like in the parliamentary system where the prime minister and the judges all come out of the parliament and they keep their membership in the parliament.
Okay, the prime minister and the judges. Okay, explain that to me a little bit better.
The prime minister is elected by the parliament, and he appoints the cabinet, and then the justices come out of the upper
House or the House of Lords. Go +4 on this one. Okay, what is separation of powers?
Separation of powers is like we have in the United States, where each branch is separate: the executive, legislative, and judiciary.
Okay.
And they have their own powers, and the other branches can't.
+2. What's the big difference between these two? Because you kind of spoke around it, but there's a real obvious difference between fusion and separation. Anybody in your group? 5, 4.
Everybody in the fusion of power, everybody is a member of the legislature as well.
Everybody's a member of the legislative branch in fusion. +2. Go.
And obviously in the separation of powers, they're not.
Everybody is in their own separate branch. +2 more. Colette's group, pick me a category.
Articles for 2.
Articles for 2. List all you can. This is yours. First hand we see next. Middle Eastern elections. Middle Eastern elections. Next hand I see's got it next. Okay, it'll be Nick's. And then Pearson's. Y'all have it now, though.
Okay, so one of the articles basically discusses Bush in the Middle East, aids Islamists, and it talked about the two groups, Hamas and Hezbollah.
Okay. What's the story there? Okay, now that article basically says that George W., while he's been criticized, it can be said that he was doing good things for democracy around the world. Okay, now that's debatable, but that's what the article says. What happened in those Middle Eastern elections?
So, well, according to us, basically they had the election and the wrong choice was basically made.
Okay.
The Bush administration was basically saying they had gone about democracy, it's just it wasn't our kind of democracy.
It wasn't our kind of democracy, or 5, 4?
It wasn't the proper choice. It wasn't the proper choice.
Who did they vote in?
They basically voted in
3.
Hezbollah.
Which is 2.
What? Which is what?
1.
Shiite Muslim.
Yeah, the terrorists, thank you. +2 on this. Basically, what were the two countries, by the way?
Lebanon and Palestine.
Lebanon and Palestine, +4. Okay, anything else you want to tell me? Any other Middle Eastern elections? 5.
Yeah, the U.S. basically have had a plan to influence the vote. in Iraq. And
Okay.
it was basically under the Bush administration. It was they were basically showing covert support for trying to influence and get money in to get their own guys in that particular election. But
Okay, so basically the gist of this is that in the first example, we didn't get involved, the wrong people got elected, the terrorists got into office, this was democracy, and this was problematic.
Exactly.
So since we lost the first round of elections,
Exactly.
the Bush administration basically said we want to go in there and influence the Iraqi elections to make sure that the right candidates get picked. Give
Exactly.
plus 2 more. Did the Americans do it?
No, they didn't. But that's the thing. Congress found out about it and basically said they couldn't do it because it was unconstitutional and it was just completely against like their foreign policy.
Bush wanted to do it, plus 2. Congress found out about it and said no, plus 2. Ultimately, Bush never said yes or no to this, so we may have done something, but we didn't do as much as we were going to do.
Exactly.
Anything else you want to tell me? 5, 4.
Oh, and
3.
they also said you can cheat. It's not democracy, but is it democracy? And that was one of the other things that they talked about. The fact that, is this good democracy to help influence, another person's democratic election?
Anything else? 2.
Anything else?
1. Go ahead, Brady. You look like you say something. Go ahead. Zoom in.
That this might say something about the lives that were lost if you do not have this system work as far as
Says something about the lives that are going to be lost?
the lives of the soldiers that were lost who fought in the Iraq War.
Y'all buying that?
No.
We
Minus
talked
2.
about that.
Go
We
ahead, next
talked
group.
about that.
Oh, we did talk about it.
Yeah, we did talk about that. Of course you're not going to agree. Maybe you didn't talk about it in that
We
class.
discussed that. Actually,
Minus
you
2.
said that.
Minus 2 more. Yeah, Kate. Go ahead, next group.
Somebody?
Anybody? 4, 3.
Do you consider India the Middle East?
No.
No?
Oh, really?
Okay.
I take offense to that.
Yeah, that's not a good answer. 2, 1. I believe I saw Pierce prepare. Anything you want to say?
You gotta say what you said.
Yeah, I was totally going to say about how they, even though there's no proof that we actually influenced it, it's suspected that we did because we had really serious talks about doing it.
Has that already been said?
No.
Minus 2. Next group. Pick me the next one. You gave me the last correct answer. I'm serious. Yeah. Pick me a category. Go.
Articles for 3.
Articles for 3. List all you can. Yours, you got it. First hand I see. U.S. Senate appointment responsibilities. First hand I see after them. Okay, it looks like it's going to be you, and then you. 5, 4,
The US,
3.
The U.S. Senate, you mean if the president appoints the justices, but the Senate has to approve
Explain that to me.
Well, the president will nominate a justice for the Supreme Court,
Okay.
but then the Senate has to approve that appointment.
Okay, the specific language is that the president will nominate with advice and consent of the Senate. So the president nominates subject to Senate approval. Give him plus 3. Okay, what is the problem with the article? 4, 3, 2, 1. Next group, you guys have it. And then it's over to here. 4.
Yes, federal judges, appeal court judges, are also appointed, by the executive, and then, confirmed or affirmed by the U.S. Senate.
Yeah.
In addition to that, they also have the responsibility to, the Supreme Justice or the Chief Supreme Justice is also.
Minus 3, go. What's the Senate appointment responsibilities?
Is when Democrats want to say and who they're appointing.
4,
Democrats
3. Anybody can say it. 2,
Want to say who they're
1. Go ahead,
who the
Marilyn.
Republicans are appointing. I'm just going to check on
The ones where Bush asked for approval of Congress, although they were Republicans.
Yeah, it is. Go ahead, explain it to me. What's the problem with this? The president shall nominate with the advice and consent of the Senate. What does it mean according to the article?
It means that if the president if there are 2 different parties,
Yes.
then yes, they should ask for approval just to be in
What do you mean by 2 different parties? What are you talking about?
the president being Democrat and the Congress being Republican.
Okay, if the president is of one party and then the Senate is of the other party, you're saying the president must do what?
Ask them for approval.
Ask them for approval. What do you mean? 3. You're really close. 2. Go ahead.
Ask them
Go ahead.
He has to consult with both
Yeah.
parties. Wait, I think I know.
He has to consult.
Lay it out for me too.
He has to he can't just, even though the Senate will probably side with him, he has to go to the Democrats and talk to them as well about what they say. But
What president did that according to the article? Give him +3.
Bill
Go ahead.
Clinton.
Bill Clinton did. Bill Clinton was a Democratic president with a Republican majority in the Senate. He went to the Senate and consulted with the Republicans. Why? Because he had to, because the Republicans could have voted him down. What did George W. do?
he didn't ask because most of the Congress was Republican.
George W. did not go to the Senate. He did not ask because the Republicans were in charge, +3. And since the Republicans were in charge, they weren't going to hang their boy, so to speak, out to dry when he went and offered nominations. What did George Washington do? 4, 3, 2. Go ahead, you still have it.
He initially thought that the constitutional part of the Senate advice and consent and treaties and obligations mandated him to go before the Senate, as he did when presenting proposed treaties in 1789.
She's reading the article. Are you reading the article?
Yeah, that was exactly.
-3. Go ahead, Travis's group.
The founding fathers advised George Washington not to do it. The founding fathers advised George Washington not to go to the Senate and talk to them.
Okay.
He tried anyways, and then he ended up storming out because nothing ever came up.
George Washington went to them. It didn't work when he got there. He stormed out, never ever to return again. Give Travis's group +6 on that one. Travis's group, pick me the next category, please.
They
have the articles there printed out.
We do articles again.
Articles for what?
4.
Articles for 4. Uh-oh. Who's drawing?
I'm gonna have no idea.
All right, Pierce, this is an easy one. Okay, the way this works, I'm going to give you 1 minute based on the clock up here. Y'all can yell out whatever you want, but you need to get the word. So it might not be the story, but give me what he's drawing. And then once you get the picture, then you can tell me the story, okay? So it's not minus until the minute is up. Got it? That's what I need you to draw. Right there.
It's guns.
Okay? Okay, on the 7, go. 1 minute. Phil, go ahead.